Hello everyone, welcome back. This is RandoGEEK. All right, so in this video, we have two stories that I want to talk about, which is why I'm labeling this as a regular podcast rather than just a news report. This is going to be a little bit longer than normal, although some of my videos, my regular traditional day-to-day stories get a little long depending on how much I have to say. But in this video, we're talking about two stories and I'm bringing them together because I'm trying to catch up on some of the stories that I haven't been able to make videos about this week because I've just been really busy with, working and other things going on. So I'm trying to save some time, but get the news out to you. And I figure this is a cool way to kind of do it. If you're in the mood for something a little longer, you have some time and you want to listen, then this might be for you. Otherwise, you guys can break it up, come back, listen a little. There will be links for the articles down below for you as well if you don't have any time at all and you just want to get straight to it. It's all good. I want you to want to listen to the stories that I talk about. I'm not going to force you. But anyway, the two stories here. First one we're going to talk about is DIRECTV losing its lawsuit against Nexstar, Mission, and White Knight owned locals over alleged illegal collusions has been thrown out. So here's what's going on according to this story. It looks like a year ago, DIRECTV announced that it has sued one of the largest owners of local television stations, which is Nexstar, along with Mission and White Knight, for what it calls illegal collusion. The lawsuit was filed in U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York. They're saying the issue here is DIRECTV's allegations that America's largest broadcaster, Nexstar Media Group, continues to violate federal antitrust laws by engaging in an illegal conspiracy with Mission Broadcasting and White Knight Broadcasting in efforts to manipulate, raise, and fix prices of retransmission content consent fees. They're saying now, though, the judge overseeing this case has thrown out the lawsuit. According to the judge, the injuries to DIRECTV are too indirect and speculative to confer antitrust. The judge said that DIRECTV had serious concerns but failed to reach the level of antitrust. In a statement sent to Cord Cutters News, which is where we're getting this update from, DIRECTV says, this ruling sets a dangerous precedent that a victim of price fixing needs to pay the inflated price before it can make a claim in court. DIRECTV at the time of the lawsuit said Nexstar's action threatens local television as we know it today. At the core of the issue, here is an effort to push up the cost of local TV. DIRECTV said that over the last 15 years, the cost of local TV has gone up by 5,000%. Now, though, this argument seems to have fallen short in court. In the lawsuit, DIRECTV accused Nexstar of suing a sham sidecar agreements with Mission and White Knight stations to go around FCC ownership caps. There was a statement here by, looks like someone from DIRECTV, and they said, Mission and White Knight are now unlawfully coordinating with Nexstar to raise prices and extract super competitive retransmission consent fees from DIRECTV in overlap DMAs, those markets where both Nexstar and Mission or White Knight each own, they're saying, a Big Four station. DIRECTV also stated at the time of the lawsuit, to accomplish this unlawful and anti-competitive aim, Mission and White Knight have entered into an agreement in which they have effectively relinquished decision-making authority to Nexstar. DIRECTV goes on to say that in its suit that the trio routinely shares confidential rates and other financial information through a single agent who can't keep the details of one contract straight from another, closely align their respective blackout dates, and duplicate their public responses to the media to manipulate viewers and betray the public trust once they unilaterally pull their station signals, they're saying. So there was a spokesperson from Nexstar that spoke to Cord Cutters News. They said in a following statement, when the lawsuit happened, Nexstar's shared services agreements with White Knight and Mission Broadcasting are in full compliance with the FCC rules, they're saying. And each station group independently negotiates its own retransmission consent agreements with its cable, satellite, and telco partners. This lawsuit is without merit, and Nexstar looks forward to prevailing in court. So they're saying now what could have been a massive landmark case in the world of broadcast TV is no longer moving forward. All right, so, it's terrible. To be honest, they're not wrong, DIRECTV. And it's a big problem for cable in general, because not only are cable companies being forced to pay a lot more money for local TV, that means that anyone that has cable is going to have to pay more as well to get those channels. And it's no wonder cable is getting even more scared, because they have a lot of competition now coming from cord-cutting solutions such as YouTube TV, Philo, etc., Sling TV, and the list goes on. They are starting to offer, and they have been offering, and even more starting to offer local channels at a much cheaper price. The packages are a lot cheaper. It's a lot cheaper to get a package from Sling TV or Philo TV than it is to get from DirecTV or Comcast or Spectrum. And this is what the problem here is for a company like DirecTV. They know this. So they want to kind of negotiate with these companies. It didn't work out. So that's where the lawsuit came from. And it's going to be a continuous bumpy ride for big cable. This is not going to stop. Big cable is really going to have to figure out some kind of solution if they want to stay in business. It's getting too rough. The water is getting too high, and they're not going to be able to swim for very long without drowning. It's just impossible at this point, especially with the competition of cord cutters. You know, there's so many cord cutting solutions now that are just going to make this impossible for cable to survive without making drastic changes either in pricing or content. I don't even know what the answer is going to be for big cable at this point in time. And I think many of you will agree that if you've had cable, you've probably left because it's just too much money. You're not getting enough value from it. And you found better solutions that are saving you money, giving you pretty much what you already have, or you're willing to settle and sacrifice a little bit to save that extra money, especially when you find that you probably weren't watching some of those channels that you're getting from DirecTV or any of these other large cable companies. So this is an update here for this. And all I got to say is, it's a shame that this fell through. I think it is unfair. And I don't think many people will be shocked by this, because this is just how it goes. Unfortunately, when you cry wolf and you try to make a drastic change like this, it just doesn't work, because everybody wants to get paid and they don't really care about your problems. The FCC doesn't really care about your problems. So when you bring this to their attention, it's really hard to get them to open their ears and listen to you. They got their hands in a cookie jar. We already know this. They're getting paid through this, and you really have to be very, very mindful of the cases that are brought to them. We've seen how long TMobile had to wait for their spectrum. There's just so many things that the FCC should be doing better that they don't. All right, so that's our first story here. Second one here is regarding the ACP program. Now, we know that coming in April, the program is running out. So for those of you that are using ACP to get discounted internet service or mobile service, whether it's wireless plans, you actually have a phone that you're paying off through an ACP program, funding is running out in April. They are not renewing it. Government is not renewing it. They say that they do not have enough funds to continue the program. However, they're saying there are some funds left that would allow you to participate until May. And of course, the providers are going to be able to kind of figure out how that money will be spent. So I did a video. I did mention this briefly about how the money will run into May. We're going to do an additional update here for those of you that never saw that. And we have some additional news regarding it as well. So in February, of course, the FCC stopped accepting new applicants for the Affordable Connectivity Program, ACP. This program offers discounts on internet or phone service to low-income Americans. The program is running out of money, waiting for Congress to provide new funding. Now the FCC is warning internet service providers that in May, it will only have enough money to give partial payments. Typically, the FCC offers to cover $30 a month for internet or phone service for those who qualify. Now the FCC is telling internet providers it will only be able to cover between $7 and $16 for this program. which they're saying this is better news than earlier reports saying that the program would run out completely in April. Now, I had done a story where it was different than this. I knew that there would be some money in May. The story wasn't very clear for us. I had read that some of the providers would get some money and then they would have to figure out how they're gonna like work with you on it. The providers would decide how much money you could use. Now the story has changed. The update is now saying that the FCC is allowing for $7 to $16 for this program. So this is new. So this is important for you if you are participating in the ACP program. You will still get some kind of a discount in May, but it'll be far less than what you were normally getting. It'll be either half or less than half, $7 or $16. I'm not sure how they're going to go about this. I don't know if they're basing it on income or how long you've had the service or how much your service actually costs and how much you pay out of pocket. Let's see. Let's go on and read some more here. There was a statement here by Chairwoman Jessica Rosenworcel. She says many of these households have contacted the commission to express their disappointment and frustration that they can no longer sign up for the program. Others have contacted the agency to express concern about the impending end of the program, noting its impact on older adults, families with school children, and military families at risk of losing their internet service without the ACP program. She says they worry that without ACP support, they will lose access to employment, education, healthcare, and more. There are several efforts to fund the program, she says. The Affordable Connectivity Program Extension Act was recently introduced in Congress. This bill would provide an extra $7 billion to keep the ACP program running. Roughly 23 million Americans use the program, and if it runs out of money, they will see their bills increase. It is hoped that Congress will find a short-term or long-term solution, such as a funding bill, before that happens, though funding for this program is caught up in a bigger fight over federal government funding. For now, there is no timeline when that will happen, leaving millions to face increased costs for internet and wireless when the program ends. All right, so, I mean, they're still saying they're still trying to look for funds. It is probably 99% accurate that there will be no more funding. What they could do, well, at least not for the traditional ACP program, what they could do is they can try to come back and offer something like they're doing temporarily. They might find some funding where they'll give you $7 to $16 off. I mean, it is better than nothing. I mean, there are internet services out there that we've seen. I talked about Spectrum or whatnot. I think that plan was like $15 a month. So if, it's very little, it's only like 50 megabytes per second. But for a family that just basically needs to get connected to the internet, it will do wonders for them. And if they really are at rock bottom and there's no income or very little income, that they just don't have money to pay for internet, the $16 will do you just fine as long as you can get a plan. And when there are companies like Spectrum, which are actually offering very generous, a very generous plan, I think that's actually pretty good. I did a video on it talking about it because I felt like there's a lot of people that might want to know about that because it's not being advertised enough. Certainly not. So, I mean, I think that's better than nothing. Ultimately, I don't know if a deal like that will continue, if they'll be able to find funding to even offer such a discount between $7 and $16. They're saying that there's just no funds there. I think most of us disagree with that. We know that there's got to be some kind of emergency funding for this program. There's a lot of better things that they could be doing with the money that they haven't been. But again, we don't make these decisions, right? Unfortunately, it's not up to us. We have no control over it, and our rants can only do so much. But if there are any additional updates regarding this, I'll definitely let you know, because I know it's important for everyone to get updates regarding this. This is something that many people are going to be affected by. And, I don't understand what the big issue here is. And I think even just offering the 7 to 16 will help many. It's not, maybe not enough for a large family that has phones being paid off through the ACP program, wireless services plus internet services. But it is better than nothing. It's a lot better than saying, sorry, we have no money left, figure it out, which is basically the vibe we're getting now. With them cutting it off, that's the vibe we're getting. Sorry, we're out of money, figure it out. And you try telling that to, a family of 7, 8 people, bunch of kids running around and, parents that are barely making enough to pay the rent. You try telling them, sorry, we're out of money. They don't want to hear that, So it is what it is, unfortunately. We can't control it, but we'll see. We'll see if there's any additional updates. All right, so I'm going to leave it here. Those are your 2 stories that I just wanted to get out. I figured I'd combine them. Still going to do separate updates. Once in a while, I might do a combination like this. Let me know down below which format you like better either way. I'll be doing both. It's not like I'm choosing one over the other. But I definitely just wanted to get these out, save a little time because I've been busy. So anyways, thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.